We'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Kolpak. Here. Pepcorn.
Here.
Strand.
Here.
Turnberg. Here. Mahoney.
Here. We're meeting today because there was an administrative notice of order to correct, and it's Don Novanti, or known as Don Hanley. What will happen first is Sean will give the idea what the order is, and then we'll hear from Dawn to speak to her point of what she'd like to do. And then the commission is either upholds what the inspection is asked, or you'd find in favor of the plaintiff. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Like the mayor said, we're here for the appeal of junk and junk vehicle notices that we've served at 421 15th Avenue North to Don Novotny or Don Hanley. Here are the incident numbers for those. Incident 24-0182 is the junk vehicle notice, and that was sent on June 12th, 2024. And incident number 24-0513 is the junk removal notice sent on June 12th, 2024. Just to bring to your attention, here's the article that we are citing those under, Article 1309, and the definitions are here for the terms junk automobiles, trash, and rubbish. And just to let you know what we're looking at, the term junk shall include, without limitation, trash, rubbish, parts of machinery or motor vehicles, unused furniture, stoves, refrigerators, or any other appliances, remnants of wood, metal, or any other cast-off materials of any kind, whether or not the same could be put to any reasonable use. And the term junk automobiles shall include, without limitation, any motor vehicle which is not licensed or used upon highways for the state of North Dakota for a period of in excess of 60 days, and shall also include, whether licensed or not, any motor vehicle which is inoperative for any reason for a period in excess of 15 days, provided that there is accepted from this definition unlicensed but operative vehicles which are kept as the stock and trade of regularly licensed and established new or used automobile dealers. The terms trash and rubbish shall include any of the following forms of debris and waste material not herein otherwise classified. We also use the International Property Maintenance Code. The definition for inoperative motor vehicle: a vehicle that cannot be driven upon the public streets for reasons including but not limited to being unlicensed, wrecked, abandoned, in a state of disrepair, or incapable of being moved under its own power. Here's the vehicle removal notice. There's 3 vehicles that we were citing at the time of this notice was sent: a black Jeep Compass with no plates, a silver Nissan Rogue with no plates, and some green scooters with no plate. And here's some pictures of those scooters, an additional motorcycle, and the 3 vehicles, just showing what they are. The junk removal notice was served at the same time. And here's some pictures. Here's a notice. It's a description of materials to be removed: appliances, automobile parts, buckets, tarps, cinder blocks, totes, motorcycle parts, lumber, tires, carpets, windows, scrap metal, items stored on trailer, and any other items that are not designed for exterior exposure or that could encourage infestation. And just here are some of the photos, just to let you see what we were seeing when we did the inspection. All of these photos were taken from the public right-of-way. And here's the current condition of the property as we were out there this morning. Here's that black SUV, the scooters, motorcycle, just some of the junk, rubbish, and debris that's in the backyard. And then we have a recommended motion. And I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions of Sean? Pepcorn?
Mr. Chair, so Sean, this was previous where they had a garage that they had taken down. Do you remember the dates of that? Because isn't part of this related to that, wouldn't you say?
At that time, we did have a dangerous building that was a garage, and we also had junk accumulation on the property. The property owner did clean up the junk, and we did abate the garage. It was dismissed from court because they did meet the cleanup notice that we gave. So yes, there was previous action on there. It was possibly about 6 months ago. I don't know the exact dates of it, but it was in mid 2023 or mid to late 2023.
So, Mr. Chair, the main thing, I mean, obviously people have the right to repair a vehicle or something, but this is this has been going on. So I live in North Fargo. I drive by this on a daily basis, and it's the main thing is the neighbors deserve to have a nice neighborhood. And this, if you have a bunch of stuff, that's going to attract rodents or whatever, and it's just not safe. And so it's just disappointing. The other thing is, and I guess we want to make sure we listen to the other side too, but that's just my 2 cents, that it's just disappointing because this has kind of been ongoing, Sean. And if you look back on the dates, you did a lot with that previous action. There was lots of notifications and things like that. So this has been going on for a long time. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, I would say that's correct.
Don, if you come up to the speaker there and explain your side, please.
Thank you. You're going to have to excuse me. I'm a little bit nervous and anxious about all this stuff. Hopefully that's understandable. And it was on July 10th, 2023, that I was here in front of you guys before with the same kind of stuff, yes. The motion, the court had dropped it as of January 17th, 2024. There has been some more cleanup, and I guess I had reached out to Sean via email on May 28th and had asked, because we had found out or seen, or Justin, my fiance, had witnessed Bill coming around taking pictures and whatnot. And so I had asked, to try to get ahead of this, what's going on? Can we try to make sure this doesn't get out of hand again? What's going on? And he just had said, he had said to me that we have received complaints on noise, inoperable vehicles, and junk on the property. We were at your property taking photos from the public, was to investigate the claims. I did not hear anything further back from him trying to communicate, find out what we were not in compliance with and stuff. And then on the 13th of June, I received not one, not two, but 3 different notices in the mail from the City of Fargo Inspections Department. I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, sometimes 10-hour days. So what happens in my home, at my property, I don't always have the control over and everything else. Sometimes, yes, he doesn't clean up after himself. I know that the pictures show that's a lot more. But when you don't have a garage because you take it down before the allotted time, and then they still come after you and remove a makeshift shed that you put up. And it took 5 guys to demolish this. I'm not trying to dwell on that, but I'm just trying to get the picture across of what we've gone through and everything else. And when I hear the fact that Bill and Sean sat there and said to me one time that they were getting complaints that potentially my fiance was harassing people. Well, my fiance likes to talk to people, and when he's on my property and he's working on stuff here or there, he's outside a lot of the times, he'll talk by when people walk by. Now, it's his right to sit there and talk to people that walk by our property. They don't have to listen, they don't have to join in on the conversation or anything, but to call the City of Fargo Building Inspections Department, I feel is a lot far-fetched, saying that they're complaining of harassment or complaining of noise. But isn't that something that the police should have to deal with, the noise complaint, not the City of Fargo Building Inspections, when there's not an open permit on my place? Yes, there's junk buildup, like I said, but you don't have a garage. You have to put stuff somewhere, store it some places. The fence, I believe, I can't prove, but I believe it was opened, not by us, that side fence where they got pictures and this stuff. This morning when they came and take pictures, I'm not asking for much, but just maybe, hey, we're gonna stop by, take pictures. Don't have to be sneaky about it. Don't have to go on the neighbor's property on that line to get pictures. Just come, I was trying to do this we didn't have to go to this far. The one about the shed being 3 feet and getting a $1,000 fine if it wasn't moved by July 1st. I don't know that a shed had to be 3 feet from your fence line and your property line. I don't know these things. So there's some things that I don't know of. And so, yes, there was communication in the past about a year ago and stuff, and then everything got escalated. Then we had to come here, and I didn't know any of this existed, that I'd have to be in front of complete strangers that would decide what happens to my property without it going anywhere else other than that. I guess I don't know what else you guys want to say or want to hear. I did type in responses and send it to almost all the commission meeting members because I didn't know what else to do for a notice of appeal. Try to look it up. I don't know if it was 10 consecutive days or 10 business days. So this is all overwhelming to me. And I think sometimes mountain get made out of a molehill. And, there's some things that I believe, yes, we take personally because I feel that there has been personalized stuff by one of your city officials or your employee members or however you want to call it, because I think that they are discriminating against my fiance, and he was actually going to be here with me today. But he gets the impression that they don't want him around and that they would rather have him leave the city than be here or whatever. And like I said, that's his personal opinion and how he's taking it, but that's how the city employees are talking to us when they're at our place. When I first met, just goes to show you how biased this is. When I first met Bill Thompson, he sat there and said, well, how do you feel about that cement slab in your lot, that you say don't look very good when you drive by my neighborhood or whatever, because we had a cement slab because at that time we had an extra vehicle with my son being there, so we needed a place to park it. I don't care what a cement slab looked like. I'm sorry. I'm a nurse. I live day by day helping people, helping take care of relatives and stuff. I don't care what a cement slab looks like if it had to be a cement slab. It sounds like you probably guys have already made up your minds because I could overhear you talking, but this is my 2 cents. And I just feel like if there's anyone else that could come to my property, if they need to follow up on a complaint or something, that it not be Bill Thompson, because I think that he's prejudiced over what it looked like a year ago or whatever. When the new employee came this last time, can't remember when it was, sorry, the dates, but it's kind of like he was already feeding him into, oh, this is what it looked like before, or this or that. And it's never going to be as clean, I feel, as that one that's taking pictures wants it to be. Another question I had too is because of the fact that we had someone come and visit us, and Bill Thompson was there that day and took a picture of this visitor vehicle. It was Minnesota license plate parked on the public street in front of our house, and I don't understand the reasoning as to why he would take a picture of somebody that's visiting my place. And then at that time, and unfortunately, this gentleman passed away recently unexpectedly, so he can't be here to speak. But at that time, it was also that Justin had run inside for a second, and Bill, instead of just taking pictures, I understand if you have to follow up on a complaint, take your pictures from the public space and leave. Don't linger, don't have to communicate with someone that's visiting our property saying, oh, I'm sorry, you seem to get stuck in the middle of this. And this is this gentleman telling me, not my fiance, so he wouldn't have a reason to tell me false information, but like I said, he can't be here to say. So at what point does it become personal against us? Because it feels like that, because when I ask what's out of compliance, and then the fact that he was also told with this other gentleman as a witness to that too, is that until our property is in compliance, that we cannot make any complaints against anyone else because it looks like we're pointing fingers. But in the past, I had made complaints and I gave them a list. Across our street, there is a neighbor that has a roof, just a roof in his driveway, been there for over a year and a half, the same time we were going through our stuff with our garage. There's a gentleman that's over by that new place that used to be Casey's that has a boat on a trailer behind his vehicle, behind his garage. So if there's nothing on the trailer that would be leaking or anything like that, then why can't stuff be on the trailer and why can't the trailer be on the grass? This is stuff I don't know. So it's not like we're intently breaking rules or codes. I guess I would just like to see, I don't know if there could be other way of means of communication before going right to citations and stuff like that, because I do work Monday through Friday. I hardly take days off. I'm here now, I have to go to work after this. But I guess I'm not sure what else to say. I gave everything and made copies.
So Don, the question is, you have 3 vehicles that they want removed. What are you going to do about those 3 vehicles?
The Nissan Rogue is not there. So that's not an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. My scooter is now licensed, so I don't know why that would have to be removed. And the Jeep Compass, as far as I know, he had worked on it last night. That's why the front was off again, but it was turned around and stuff. So, I mean, I don't know why we have to remove vehicles when there's vehicles that people have 5 vehicles lining up in their stuff, do you guys ask them to make sure that they run or anything like that? There's one on a trailer not too far from my house too, and that's all the way to their garage. But I just don't understand what more I can give or that you can take or make it taken. I just don't know how to go forward.
John, if it's a scooter's license, is that allowed?
We haven't been able to confirm any licenses or anything like that. They did send a couple of videos and things, but until we can actually physically see it, they have barred us from the property, so we don't, that's why all of our pictures are taken from public right away or from neighbors who agree to allow us onto their property to be able to take pictures and things. And that's how we typically operate. We follow up on every complaint that we get. Sometimes there's things that we find, other times there aren't. So the only reason we were at this property again is because we started receiving complaints from the neighbors. Otherwise, we would not have been at,
So it's complaint driven, neighbors have been complaining. How many days does she have to remove them?
the deadlines that we had on the notices are passed. But the suggested motion that was made by the city attorney was they were gonna get the findings of fact ready in 7 days.
And then if she doesn't remove them, what happens?
Then we'll have to abate
You'll have to remove
yeah,
them.
we'll have to remove them, yes.
Okay. And are they impounded or are they allowed?
Yeah, the towing company that we use is FM Towing, and they impound them, and they keep them for, it's either 30 or 90 days, I'm not sure, and they have the opportunity to go in and pay for the towing fees and things and receive the vehicle back.
Okay, you understand that, Don?
I did send a picture to Sean and Denise of the license on the scooter. I have it right here too, if you need to see that. And as far as the Jeep, if it's licensed, how do I stop that from going if it's licensed? Do we have to run it down the street for you, or?
So, it's not just the licensing part, and I think that's what's getting misconstrued a lot of the time here. It's the condition of the vehicle itself. If it can't be driven on the public streets safely, and it's not gonna pass a DOT inspection type of thing, it's a junk vehicle, according to the IPMC and according to the ordinances. That's what we're looking at with the front clip missing or headlights, being just placed on there, just lights being placed on there in lieu of headlights and stuff. There's stipulations that the DOT does have to be able to drive that vehicle on the street, and it has to have bumpers, working headlights, things like that, working taillights, working, components within the vehicle and stuff. And the vehicles that we're seeing there, they're being worked on. They might start and drive, move up and down the driveway, and they might have a license for them because they have a clear title, but the state that they're in is not conducive to being able to drive them on the public streets. We
Yeah, our pictures don't necessarily reflect that, so thank you. Commissioner Pipcorn?
So, Mr. Chair, so Sean, there's also, the backyard is just full of junk. And so does she also have to remove all that? Is that included in part of this? So how much time does she have? And then what happens if she doesn't do it in that amount of time?
Well, once again, it would be the 7 days. Otherwise, we'd have to, I do believe, take it to court and have a junk removal done at court.
Because to me, Mr. Chair, it's the whole, I drive by there, I've been by there today. It's a junkyard. And so the neighbors, that's not fair to them. They all have well-kept yards, and the whole backyard is full of junk. That's just my opinion. And so to me, and this has been going on for a long time, and there's lots of excuses you can make, but the junk hasn't been removed for years. And so the cars are only one part of it. And so to me, to make an excuse, I work 8 to 5, we always hear these excuses. It's like, no, do you think that's being considered to your neighbors, having a junkyard?
Respectfully, sir, it's not a junkyard. That's your opinion. And respectfully also, the fence that we got from Menards that wasn't in or anything with the garage, wasn't attached to the garage, was also removed by the city of Fargo, saying that was junk. So there was one panel out. We could have been using that as fence to keep the eyesore out if that was your concern about cosmetic stuff. But respectfully, that's one opinion, and I'm sorry you said this last time too, that it's a horrible place. It's not. I'm a human being. I live there. I deserve respect too. I'm not trying to disrespect the neighbors. That's not what that's about. But you have a Karen, you have a Chad that always just sit there, and it seems to me making the same mistake.
So, Mr. Chair, first of all, I'd like to pull up the pictures of the backyard. It's a junkyard. And I can have my opinion, but I'll stand by that. It's just a bunch of junk. And when you drive by, you can see the backyard without any appearance, and the whole front yard, the whole thing. I mean, you tell me if you're their next door neighbor, you would like living next to that. And this isn't just a week or a month. This has been going on for years. And so to me, that's the thing. The debate about the cars, that's one thing. But the rest of it is, I mean, clearly this is just, you know, I would not appreciate it if I was their neighbor. And so the other thing is, this isn't personal. You have to do this. These are the rules if you have a house in the city of Fargo. So this is not a personal thing against you or your neighbors or whatever. No, you have to do this because what this does, this attracts rodents and it's dangerous to your neighbors. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And with that, I'll make the motion.
Motion is you are hereby ordered to remove the following described junk and or debris in accordance with the Fargo Municipal Code Article 1309 by 7 days from today, which would be July 20th,
22nd.
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 Excuse me, Mayor, I'm sorry, I didn't catch this. The next city commission meeting is 7/22, which is next Monday, 7 days, but that's when you will be presented with the findings and order for signature on agenda, and then it would be after that the.
So what motion should be made today?
It should be 10 days
10 days.
instead of the 7 days.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll restate the motion, then I'll make the recommended motion, but instead of 7 days, 10 days. That's my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Pepcorn.
Aye.
Colpack.
Aye.
Strand.
Yes.
Turnberg.
Aye.
Mahoney.
Aye. We have no other business. We stand adjourned.